Well, good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijender Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English. And presently, I have been posted at Government College, Gudha, in the Jhansi district. In the series of video lectures, which is being prepared by me, today's lecture is meant for the students of BA Part 3rd who has taken English literature as subject and the paper 2nd. The topic on which we are having a talk is human relationship or the role of sex and money in maintaining human relationship or Raju Rosie relationship in the famous novel of R.K. Narayan's The Guide. About R.K. Narayan, we have discussed many questions. We know that he was born in 1906 and died in 2001. In the beginning, when he started his career as a writer, he used to his full name Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayan Swamy, but he did not get the attention from the publishers. Then Graham Greene suggested him to shorten his name, just R.K. Narayan. At the advice of Graham Greene, he shortened his name R.K. Narayan, and now R.K. Narayan has become a household name in India, we can say, or in many other countries also. He is one of the India's greatest English language novelists. He has written many novels, stories, and all his works are based in the fictional town named Malgudi. It is a fictional because it does not find in real India anywhere. We do not find it anywhere in India, but from its features, we can say that it is somewhere in South India. Narayan's works showcased his ability to highlight the social context and provide a feel of the characters through the simple narration of everyday life. He chooses character from ordinary human beings and then he makes them in such a situation that they become extraordinary. He was often compared, that is, Narayan was often compared to the William Faulkner since both their works brought out the humor and energy of ordinary life and also displayed compassionate humanism. Along with Mulk Raj Anand and Raja Rao, Narayan forms the triumvirate of Indian literature in English. He is credited with bringing English language writing from India to the rest of the world. Means he was given the credit in the past, and nowadays we all admit that it was R.K. Narayan who introduced India through his works to the rest of the world. The Guide is one of his most popular novels. It was written in 1958 and awarded Sahitya Academy Award in 1960. It is considered Narayan's masterpiece. On this novel, a film was made in which the starring Devanand, Wahida Rahman, and Devanand said that he had played many roles, many characters in movies, but Raju is his the favorite character which he has ever played in a movie. So it is regarded as a masterpiece work of R.K. Narayan. This novel has been translated into several languages of the world. It is taught in many of the universities of the world. It has become an immortal classic of world literature and has a special appeal for the East as well as the West. The novel breathes an aroma of the typical Indian life. The novel is thoroughly Indian, not only in its characters but also in its theme. scene, and ideas. The novelist catches its Indianness in the form of social and economic life of the country at that time. He holds the mirror of the Indian society of the 30s. That is, what type of society, what kind of people, what kind of thinking, it has been shown in this novel. He captures the rapidly changing social, economic, and religious values of that time. The novel depicts the story of love triangle, husband, wife, and infest lover. Infest, we can say parasite or troublesome, who creates many problems for himself as well as for others. The title of the novel is suitable and suggestive, for it is the story of a man who begins his career as a tourist guide and is gradually transformed into a spiritual guide. The theme deals with the fact that faced with compulsive circumstances, even an ordinary man can attain extraordinary personality and spiritual stature. Love and marriage are also important part of the theme of the novel. The interaction, the cause and consequences of love and marriage is beautifully depicted in the novel through the story of Marco and Rosie. What kind of consequences will take place if the marriage is not, or the partners are not chosen according to the requirement and nature of the person. Art is another important theme of the novel. Marco's devotion to art is complete, and so is Rosie's. Both are devoted to their respective arts. But there is a lack of understanding that paves way for the rift in their relationship and finally drifting apart. They got separated from each other. Raju is an artist in his own right, though he is basically inclined to commercialize it. That is, he uses his art to earn money. The formal plot of the novel portrays the changing fortunes of its hero, Raju. We can say hero or the protagonist or the main character of the novel. The story moves simultaneously on two planes, past and the present. The novel has two different episodes woven together by the presence of the common hero. The first episode is about Raju's relationship with Rosie and Marco, and the second episode is about Raju's becoming a spiritual guide. In the novel, the second episode is narrated in the present. And about the first episode, that is Raju's relationship with Rosie and Marco, is told in flashback technique. R.K. Narayan has always been a student of human relationship. In his novels, he deals with such simple relationships as the relations between students and teachers, between friends and classmates, or relationship within the family, between father and son, husband and wife, etc. And he has been a student of society. He studied society minutely and tried to study the relationship between two persons. They may be relative or they may be the member of the society. These relationships usually turn around sex and money. That is, role of money and sex also decide the fate of the relationship. This is also the case with the guide. Raju-Rosie relationship forms the backbone of the novel, and it turns upon sex and money. Rosie comes to Malgudi with her husband for sightseeing. Raju is a tourist guide there. He is fascinated by her beauty. He falls in love with her at first sight and says she was not very glamorous, if that is what you expect. But she did have a figure, a slight and slender one, beautifully fashioned, eyes that sparkled, a complexion not white but dusky, which made her only half visible, as if you saw her through the film of tender coconut juice. This shows that how minutely Raju studied her at the first sight. Rosie is not happy with her husband, Marco. He is a scholar interested in the study of ruins and caves. He takes no interest in his young and charming wife. He is often harsh upon her. So it means he treated her in a manner which can be said the insulting manner. Raju at once smells that Rosie is unhappy with her husband. The result is that soon Raju is able to win her over, and many are the nights of love they pass together in their hotel room as the husband stays on in the rest house of Mimpy Hills. Raju Rosie relationship is not merely physical, it is based on in the similarity of temperament. Raju and Rosie have much in common. Both of them are romantic by nature. The first important similarity between their nature. Raju knows the aspirations of a young and beautiful girl. He shows delight in whatever Rosie wants to do. He wants to see a king cobra. Raju immediately arranges for it. She wants to watch wild animals prowling at night. Raju sits with her, watching in the glass veranda. He knows her needs and she understands what he desires. Soon Marco comes to know of their relationship. Rosie, in addition to being a romantic, is also a Hindu wife. And as such, she does her best to atone for unfaithfulness. Means she is ready to do any kind of repentance or to face punishment for her unfaithfulness and is humble and repentant. She even rejects Raju's and angrily asks him to get out of their life. Marco deserts her and says, but Marco did not forgive her. He says, you are a woman who will go to bed with anyone that flatters your antiques. He does not know that he himself, that is, Marco himself has got to be blamed for her aberration. On being discarded by her husband, Rosie has now no alternative but to go to Raju's door. Raju receives her with open arms. They live under the same roof. They snatch every possible opportunity to be in each other's arms. Raju's mother objects to Rosie stay in the house, but Raju is always there to protect her. Ultimately, the mother leaves her husband's house and goes to live with her brother in the village. First, she tries to say, ask Raju to leave her, but Raju did not leave Rosie. The result was Raju's mother left the house. Raju is soon involved in the financial difficulties, has to give up his railway star. He has to sell his railway star shop, we can say. However, Raju's love for Rosie is far from being pure. But one thing we can say that it was not a true love. The next stage in the relationship is reached when Rosie becomes famous far and wide as a dancer, Nalini. And Raju takes up the role of a theatre manager and impresario, that is manager who manages all the events of the dancer. Up till now, love and sex were the predominant factors in their relationship. Now money becomes the dominant factor. They earn huge amounts of money, but all is wasted by Raju in drinking and gambling and maintaining a lavish style of living. He sits in the high society and spends money in this way. He did waste all the money. Rosie suffers from a feeling of weariness. She loved art for art's sake, but here is art for money's sake. Clearly, the relationship has become purely a money relationship. Raju-Rosie relationship is ended. And thanks to the machinations of Marco, he sends his book for Rosie and Raju hides it from her, for he is afraid that she would admire his genius and would like to go back to him. He suffers, that is, Raju suffers from jealousy and a sense of insecurity. The result is that he forges Rosie's signature on a voucher to get some jewelry lying in her name and Marco's name in the bank. He commits this forgery because he does not want Rosie to know of her husband's generosity. The forgery is ultimately detected, and Raju is sentenced for 2 years imprisonment. Raju does her best, sorry, Rosie does her best to defend him. She engages the best lawyer and she pays his fees by dancing for 24 hours continuously. But nothing happened. And when the trial ends in his conviction, she returns to Madras to live with her husband. Thus, Raju-Rosie relationship comes to an end. There, Rosie manages her own affairs, rises to greater heights of glory. Means after going after going off Raju into jail, Rosie earns more name and fame, thus showing that Raju was a mere parasite living on her earnings. In conclusion, it may be said that it seems rather fantastic and incredible that a highly educated, cultured, and sensible girl like Rosie should fall in love with an ordinary, illiterate, good for nothing loafer like Raju. Yes, there was no match between Raju and Rosie. Rosie was well educated and sensible girl, and Raju was just a loafer and irresponsible person. But the novelist has used various devices with great success to make the relationship credible. The novelist has created that kind of situation in which the relationship becomes acceptable. She is essentially a Hindu wife, but the novelist has given her a context which denies life. She has a husband who is more interested in sculptured figures on walls and stones in caves than in his wife. Means he gives more importance to statues made of stone than the real human being like his wife. In short, Raju Rosie relationship is the very heart and center of the novel, and in his treatment of this complex relationship, the novelist has shown great skill and maturity. In different sense, the author has taken up this aspect and presented in a skill with a great skill and maturity. Thank you very